Did you know that most portable blenders promising professional performance can barely mix a scoop of protein powder without jamming? The problem almost never lives in the blades they show you in the photo, but in the things manufacturers quietly hide. The real battery voltage, the angle of the blades, and how the liquid actually moves inside the cup. Good crushing is a delicate balance between rotational force and speed, and that gets tricky the moment you depend on a battery instead of the mains. Today, I'm bringing you the 7 best on the market, all readily available across Europe, from the minimalist office companion to the beast that pulverizes ice on the move. You've got every one of them linked in the description. Let's dive in. We start with the Ninja Blast, the debut of a brand we all know for its brutal countertop blenders, now in cordless form. The first thing that grabs you is how quiet it is. Instead of that ear-splitting roar the brand is famous for, it hums along gently, perfect for a 7 a.m. smoothie without waking the house, or for the office without anyone shooting you a look. The anti-drip lid is a beauty, with a rigid carry handle and a spout that locks open so it never bonks you on the nose while you drink, a silly little detail you'll appreciate more than you'd expect. Now, if your routine leans on kale or big chunks of frozen mango, this one feels happier with softer fruit and a decent splash of liquid. Give it a couple of cycles and it leaves everything smooth. There's a lovely LED ring around the button that flags with different colors, whether it's ready, whether it needs charging, or whether a blade has jammed. It's built for the person who wants everything clear and fuss-free, though since the motor always travels attached to the cup, you'll feel a bit of weight in your bag. And if what you're after is the exact opposite of muscle, the NutriBullet Triton flips the whole script. It's one of the slimmest, most elegant options around, with a silhouette that looks more like a designer thermal flask than a blender, so it slides perfectly into a car cup holder. The seal is flawless, you can toss it into a bag with no fear of leaks, and on top of that, it usually sits in a very accessible price bracket for a premium brand. With its 100 watts, it's built for whoever lives on protein powders, ripe banana, and plant milks. On that terrain, it's whisper quiet and does the job beautifully. With solid ice or very dry recipes like hummus, it prefers you lend a hand by thawing the fruit a touch. Think of it as a superbly refined emulsifier rather than a brute crusher. The base doesn't go underwater since that's where the battery and the circuit board live, so you clean it with a soapy water cycle and you're done. Now, if instead of subtlety what you need is sheer raw volume, the Topesk A9.2 plays in another league. Its 600 milliliter cup offers noticeably more capacity than the average, which solves that eternal gripe that a portable smoothie falls short as a meal replacement. The motor, rated at 270 watts spinning at 24,000 revolutions, generates tremendous centrifugal force, and with its dual 4,000 mAh battery, it holds up over long stretches away from a socket. It carries IPX67 certification, so you rinse it under the tap without worrying about the board. It's the favorite of the gym-heavy crowd who prep those mass gainers with half a liter of milk, oats, several scoops of protein, and a whole banana. That said, it's a unit worth treating with a bit of care. The housing prefers you don't punish it with enormous ice blocks, and it does better if you charge it calmly. For anyone who prioritizes capacity and raw power for little money, it's hard to beat. Before we reach the queen of power, stop on this one, a textbook case of doing a lot with a little. The Kokunst P SB8 has a trick I love. It comes with an extra travel base lid, so you blend, unscrew the heavy motor base, leave it at home, and head out carrying only the Featherlight 500 milliliter cup. No more lugging batteries and metal around in your bag all day. On top of that, it has a 4-bar LED display showing the remaining battery in real time, something you miss even on far pricier models, plus a magnetic switch that prevents accidental starts. Its stainless steel blades feature micro teeth that tear through fruit skin rather than just crushing it, a detail that surprises you for the price. The battery is on the compact side at 1500 milliamps, so it appreciates a regular top-up. In fact, it's worth plugging it in at least once a month even when unused, so it's always ready. Perfect for the student or the office worker who wants the lightest possible load. And now for real, the one that turns everything on its head, the Ninja Blast Max. This is where you're properly wowed because it packs an 11.1 volt electrical architecture that transfers brutal torque to the blades. Translation: it pulverizes ice blocks, whole frozen strawberries, and kale into a silky emulsion, something almost no battery rival manages without you having to shake it like a maniac. It also fixes the original's flaw with its twist-and-go system. The motor unscrews and stays on the countertop, and you take only the cup with the blades sealed in. And as if that weren't enough, the Auto IQ technology gives it a brain, with programs that alternate bursts, pauses so gravity settles the ingredients, and top speed pulses without you lifting a finger. In exchange for all this artillery, it charges with a proprietary adapter rather than USB Type-C, so it's the one that ties you most to a wall socket at home. It weighs and hums a touch more, and it plays in the premium range. But it keeps an ace up its sleeve. It runs at full power while plugged in, so if you find it flat at 7 in the morning, you plug it in and blend on the spot as though it were a lifelong countertop machine. We shift mindset entirely with the Amschef JC12, which doesn't compete on volume but on something far more refined. It blends under vacuum. Before its 10 blades even spin, an internal pump draws the oxygen out of the cup and creates negative pressure. With that, it halts the oxidation of delicate fruits like apple or avocado, and it removes almost all the foam and that unpleasant separation where the liquid sinks and the pulp floats. The result is restaurant quality, thoroughly homogeneous. Picture this. You prep a dense green blend of apple, spinach, and celery at 8 in the evening. Keep it vacuum sealed in the fridge, and the next day at 1 in the office, it's still vibrantly green, the flavor intact instead of the brown, separated liquid any other would give you. The pump takes a few seconds to build the vacuum before starting, and the cup is 380 milliliters, so it's designed for modest portions and for whoever puts nutritional quality above quantity. A gorgeous rarity of engineering. And we close with a Spanish gem, the Secotec Power Titanium Shake 2 Go, especially in its steel versions with a stainless steel cup. That steel isn't for show, it works as a thermal insulator that keeps your smoothie almost frozen for hours, ideal for whoever preps it in the morning and drinks it at the beach or midway through a hike in the sun, when a plastic cup would already have handed you a lukewarm mush. Inside beats an 11.1-volt motor, the same as the Blast Max, but here with the advantage of charging over USB Type-C and blades coated in black titanium that hold up far better against the wear of ice and seeds. It also has an anti-storage geometry at the bottom that pushes clumped powders back into the vortex, so nothing sticks down there, and it disassembles fully for the dishwasher. The only thing is that in the metal version it carries some weight, over 1 kilo, but if you don't mind carrying something with presence, it delivers performance that rivals the Ninja Blast Max at a fraction of the price. Ridiculous value for money. So let's make it crystal clear by profile. If you're the power purist and want one that genuinely replaces the countertop machine, crushing ice and dense greens without blinking, the Ninja Blast Max is the queen, as long as you accept its proprietary charger. If you're out and about, do endurance sport, or live in a hot climate and need the smoothie to stay icy hours later, the Secotec Power Titanium Shake 2. Go in Steel is your thermal shield, and it charges over USB Type-C. For the nutrition obsessive who preps green juices ahead of time, the Amschef JC12 and its vacuum have no rival, provided you're fine with small portions. If you work in an office and just want to dissolve protein or a light smoothie without any noise, the elegant NutriBullet Triton is your companion. And if you're all about volume on a tight budget, the Topest A9 gives you raw capacity by the bucket load, while the Kokunst PSB8 is the lightness champion thanks to its travel lid and battery display. And you've got them all linked in the description so you can compare in your own time. If this helped, tell me in the comments which profile you fit and I'll point you the right way. See you in the next one.